Alright, so it is Sunday, October 8th, 2017, and I thought I'd take a minute here and do one of those videos I was talking about doing earlier. Now, in the last video I said I'd probably do some sort of, maybe a video about like Shout Factory and Scream Factory stuff. Maybe a video about my most recent movies. And, well, hi Misty. That's Misty. She's a terrible cat. Anyways, I thought I'd do do a combination here. I'll do this try and get through this as quickly as I can. I might do my DVD collection. So, now, as I mentioned before, Shout Factory / Scream Factory is a great, it's a great boutique video label. They get a lot of licenses. They do, usually, I'm going to say always. I don't know for certain. I'm not familiar with every release they've done. But everything I'm looking at here has been good, so, I mean, the only thing I think I've heard complain about is an Army of Darkness. Let's zoom out a little here, because it's out of focus. Army of Darkness, somebody said there's like a few seconds missing from the theatrical cut. But I have the Universal Screwhead edition of that, so that's not a big deal for me. Everything else checks out fine, so I thought I'd just go over these movies, show you what I got and from them. Maybe take a few moments, just give you a quick rundown. So let's start right at the top here. Where the Buffalo Roam, starring Bill Murray and Peter Doyle. Everyone knows Bill Murray, Dr. Peter Venkman, Ghostbusters. Peter Boyle, he played the dad in Everybody Loves Raymond. Great actor. This is based on Hunter S. Thompson. The movie based on the twisted legend of Hunter S. Thompson. So yeah, it's about Hunter S. Thompson. It covers some facets, like when he was on the campaign trail with Richard Nixon, and basically it talks about his friend, Oscar Zeta Acosta. I think I said that right. They don't call him that. They call him Laszlo in the movies for legal reasons. Same thing with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. When they made that, they called him Dr. Gonzo. Anyways, it's a good movie. I got this a couple months ago. In the original pressings, they always include usually a slipcover. So I got this one the day it came out. So I got the slipcover. So that's pretty cool. The next on the list here, UHF, starring Weird Al Yankovic. This is a great movie. It's underrated. Weird Al is amazing. He's hilarious. And if you look very carefully, you can see it's got, well, this focus is kind of sucky. Let's see what happens if I take that off. No, yeah, there we go. It's got Fran Drescher and Michael Richards. You know, the guy who played Kramer from Seinfeld, before he went on a super evil racist tirade. So yeah, it's got all the special features you want. You know, a couple music videos, deleted scenes. Yeah. Let me take a minute. Hold on a minute here. Let's see if I can. Did I do it with this one? Yeah. So, all right. So this you can see here is the cover artwork that Shout Factory did. That's what it looks like. Now, nice thing about them is they have usually reversible covers. This is the original artwork for the original DVD and VHS release. I don't know if the actual movie poster looked like that, but I like to flip them over usually, so you see the original cover art. It's good stuff, but I like the original. That's just my thing. So, all right, let's slip that back in. Oh, well, there's my ceiling. As you can tell, I'm in my basement. Some ductwork going directly into my bedroom. So, yeah. Nobody's there right now. Maybe later. Now, one thing I like about them, and this is through Scream Factory, their horror imprint, they do a lot of double packs. And they're relatively affordable, all things considered. I think this was like... I got this in a... Back when HMV was still operating in Canada, it was like 2 for $25, something like that, 2 for $20. And it's Troll and Troll 2. Troll 2 is infamous for being the best, worst movie ever. It's like where the kid's like, oh, they're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. You know. Yeah, so it's fun. Usually it's, you know, they don't usually have super crazy bonus features like it's got like, you know, DTS Master Audio Stereo. That's about it. So yeah, that's that. This here, something I picked up maybe a month or two ago. Transformers the movie, the original animated movie from the 80s, the one where they killed Optimus Prime and everyone cried. I know I did, because I was like 5 or 6 when I saw it. So yeah, it's a Steelbook edition. It's, you know, HD, 1080p, you know, high def surround sound. Can't really say much more about it. It's great. All right, this one. Did I flip it over with this? Ah, yes, I did. There's the original cover art underneath, and this is the cover art that they did, which still looks good. It's They Live, John Carpenter's classic about society being subverted by an alien race, starring the late great, legendary, amazing Rowdy Roddy Piper, one of the greatest actors and professional wrestlers who ever lived. If you haven't seen this one, you really do need to see it. I can't say much more about that. This I'll do 2 of, because they kind of came together. Well, not together, but roughly around the same time. The Tales from the Crypt movies. Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood. They're both great movies, underrated as usual. That's what happens with a lot of these Shout Factory and Scream Factory movies, is they are usually underrated, or they're well recognized, but they're foreign or something like that, you know. Like, I got some Bruce Lee ones from his days in Hong Kong that are on here. But yeah, these movies were great, you know. If you get to see them, see them. Once again, another double packed, also Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt Vault of Horror double feature. It's based on the old EC comics from the 50s that were banned when they came out with the comic code, which at the time basically meant you couldn't publish a comic unless you were, you know, Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman. No vampires, no werewolves, the bad guy always had to get his just desserts, you know. They don't have that anymore, and we're all the better for it, but this was what, part of the reason that it came about. So, like I said, based on the comic book, whereas the movies were based on the TV show, which was based on the comic book, so there you go. The more you know. Alright. Shocker. Classic Wes Craven. About a serial killer who gets electrocuted and ends up turning into electricity and jumping from body to body. Starring Mitch Pileggi, who played Assistant Director Skinner in The X-Files. So he went from being a psychopath to a guy who helps track down and capture psychopaths. There you go. Here we go. Now we're talking. This is actually... Now this one, much like Where the Buffalo Roam, is actually, if you'll see there, it's actually Shout Select. When I list them, it still lists as Shout Factory, though. Now, this is the Return of the Dragon, starring Bruce Lee. And it features a legendary scene where Bruce Lee actually fights against Chuck Norris. Now, contrary to reality, Bruce Lee wins. We all know in reality, though, Chuck Norris will win because, let's be honest, Chuck Norris, when he does a push-up, isn't pushing himself up, it's pushing the earth down. Now this one goes by the name Return of the Dragon, like most Western editions. The actual name is actually Way of the Dragon, which makes more sense, because Return of the Dragon, like if it came out after Enter the Dragon, that would have been okay, but it didn't. This came out before Enter the Dragon, so there you go. This here will be we'll do these together, because the Slumber Party Massacre 1, 2, and 3. Now, Slumber Party Massacre is its own separate Blu-ray. As you can see, it's very copious on the gore and the titties. It was the 80s when they released horror movies meant boobs. That's how it was. Of course, back then you could have like a dozen boobs in a PG-13 movie. Now, if you have like one boob, it's a hard R. So, there you go. Slumber Party Massacre 2 kind of picks up where the first one left off. It's kind of weird. It features like the sister of one of the characters from the first movie, and the guy's like a ghost with a guitar drill, something. I don't know how to explain it really. The third one's just straightforward. It's a guy who's killing people with drills. Same with the first one. So, yeah. And as you can see, the 2 and 3 are a double pack, which is once again a great value thing. So I got this the day it came out. Sometimes, as I said earlier, they usually come in slip covers. This one did not, so there you go. What else we got here? This is a Scream Factory. Sleepaway Camp. Did not come in a slipcover. I reversed it because I like this artwork better than the stuff they did. I feel the artwork they did actually kind of gives it away a little bit. So this is what I've reversed it. It's a good movie, slasher film. Spawned a couple sequels. Don't have those. Want to pick them up. The fourth one's kind of sketchy because it's like somebody started filming it, then it got abandoned, then somebody filmed some more, and they just cobbled it all together. It's a whole whack of stuff. So, but yeah, it's a great movie. It's got a heck of a twist. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. All right, what do we got here? Scream Factory. Oh. Scream Factory, but really, this is actually a superhero film, Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is a comic book character from DC Comics, more popularly known for its characters like Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern. Never mind Green Lantern. Anyways. So yeah, basically it's just an origin tale of Swamp Thing. Gives you a brief rundown of how the character comes about. You know, guy turns into plant, has to save girl, stop evil scientists who turn him into plant. Pretty straightforward, but a fun watch. It's a fun watch. Once again, it's a Scream Factory. I guess, you know, because he turns into a monster, but whatever. Braddock. Missing in Action 3. I actually have a stand-up, you can't see it here, of Missing in Action 3. I got it for my birthday this past year. It doesn't stand because it's like, we got it from a video store. Well, my friend got it from a video store that was going out of business. It's the same place I got my Crocodile Dundee stand-up. So the place went out of business. The stand just won't stay in place, so we'll have to take some time, you know, get some hot glue and some wood, make her stand up. If it was really Chuck Norris, it would never fall down, but, you know, Chuck Norris once got cold, so he turned up the sun. So there you go. It's this one's great. Let's see what's the specs on it. Master Audio Stereo DTS HD. So it's a great movie. I do have the first 2 Missing in Actions, but they are not released by Shout Factory. Although I do believe Shout Factory has now released them, but I'm not... Generally speaking, I'm not going to go out and buy another copy unless there's some unless I made a mistake and didn't check the reviews and bought a garbage copy. But that usually doesn't happen. So, The People Under the Stairs. Once again, Wes Craven. It's a really good movie. Kid and some people try to rob a house of their landlords, actually, because they're being evicted and they're trying to come up with money for the rent. Yada yada. Turns out they're an inbred psychopathic couple, and there's people under the stairs. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. That's all I'm saying. Prince of Darkness. This is one of those ones. I reversed the cover art. This is the original cover art to it. I like this better. John Carpenter. This is part of his, what do they call it? The Apocalypse trilogy, or End of the World trilogy. It includes also In the Mouth of Madness, which I don't have yet. I really want to get that, but every time I try and order it, it's sold out. So yeah, and The Thing, which I have. It's also been released by Shout Factory, but I don't have that version. I have the Universal version because that came out like 3 years before the Shout Factory, and it's a good copy, so I'm not going to upgrade unnecessarily. Alright, where are we? Let's see. Alright, Pumpkinhead. Lance Henriksen. Man looks for revenge after his son is killed. Invokes an evil spirit. Turns out he starts to become the evil spirit, and the only way to stop it is to kill himself. Hope I didn't give it away from you. So, there you go. Chuck Norris, Invasion USA. Well, that's odd. You can't invade the USA if Chuck Norris is there. No wonder it failed. Movie's awesome, though. Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2 double pack. Little demon creatures that live in your toilet. Pretty straightforward. Great movies, though. Fun. Just, they're not... They ain't Oscar contenders, but they're fun to watch. G.I. Joe, the movie. Once again, the animated movie from the 80s. Originally, the character of Duke was going to die, but they rewrote that because the Optimus Prime thing went over horribly. Alright, so... Bruce Lee, Game of Death. You know what? I'm just gonna... The parts with Bruce Lee are great, but there's a lot of stuff in here that just isn't good. I don't even know why I bought it. Usually every movie in here that I have on here, you know, it's something I enjoy somewhat. But this is just kind of... it's tacky. Like, there's footage of his actual funeral in this, because he died while making it. It's just... Yeah, just put it away. The Chinese Connection, which I believe, I'm trying to get this straight in my head here, was actually Fist of Fury in Hong Kong. But then they called it Chinese Connection, and I mean, it's a great movie, but I don't know why they changed the name, because after that, they came out with Fists of Fury, which in Hong Kong was called The Big Boss, which makes more sense. Well, I mean, the whole thing works out, but The Big Boss still would have worked, and you could have called the Chinese Connection Fist of Fury. Both great movies, but still. Army of Darkness. This is one of those movies that I do actually own another copy of, the original Universal Edition. I only got this because I love Army of Darkness, and while they say, I don't know for certain, because I actually haven't watched it, they say the theatrical cut is missing a few seconds. Don't know how that's possible, but apparently it's got the director's cut and the international cut, as well as the theatrical version. So this is why I got it, because it's got 2 more cuts of the movie. It's like how they had all the bootleg cuts and stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s for Army of Darkness. So, everything you need, one-stop shopping. If it is missing those few seconds, I'm sure that Shout Factory would actually get you the proper thing. Oh, Scream Factory. It shows up as Shout Factory when I look at my list. So, no big deal. Alright, and Blackula in Scream, Blackula Scream. 1970s blaxploitation, where a African prince goes to seek Count Dracula's help in stopping the slave trade, and, well, Dracula does what Dracula does and bites him, then locks him in a coffin where he's stuck for 200 years. Ends up in LA, hilarity ensues. Great movie, check it out. Alright, so that's all the Shout Factory, Scream Factory, all that stuff I got. So I'm going to stop right now, put these back in order. And when I come back, we'll do a quick video of my my haul for this past week. Alright, check yourself. Never mind.